Hi there, my name's Ben, and today I'm going to tell you about why I exercise and why you should too. So, a little bit of preface about this as well. I used to work in the fitness industry, just mainly in sales, right out of university. Um, but I was much bigger. I was very fat at that time. I was fat throughout most of university, up until very, very recently, actually. And it seemed a little bit like an oxymoron. Okay, like I'm in the gym. I didn't really know much about working out at the time. I'd played sports when I was younger, but it was never really a major thing to me. Sports was always more of a social aspect. It was a fun game to play, but my pursuits were much more intellectual. And I didn't really see the point in exercise. I thought it was stupid, to say the least. Then I started working in the fitness industry and actually learned about, how to work out, how to use proper form and everything. And it was fairly inspiring. I mean, you see these people who are all about, either improving themselves or getting healthier or getting stronger. And there's a progression aspect to it, which is really, really, I think that's super inspiring. However, it wasn't inspiring enough for me to keep going with it. But recently, within the past, 70 weeks or so, I hate it when people say that. I'll rephrase. Within the past year and a half, there have been some changes that I made to my lifestyle, which I'll explain in other videos as well. But they have led me to start exercising in earnest again. And so these are the three reasons why I do so. And number one is physical exertion helps me to tire myself out. It helps to calm my thoughts, and most importantly, it helps me to sleep. For me, someone who does have, more of an intellectual bent, my mind is constantly racing. I'm constantly thinking about different things. I'm constantly either writing or reading or speaking with people, or sometimes speaking with myself or about what I'm going to do. I'm constantly switched on, and physical exertion in the form of exercise helps for me to almost lower the volume of that voice of my brain constantly being on. And sometimes I can shut it off completely. And I reach this place, which is, it's absolute pure silence. I can't even hear anything, in the outside world. My mind is just blank. It's dark. There's nothing going on. It completely switches off, and I'm just exercising. And for me, that's almost a form of meditation, and it's very calming and it's very soothing. So that's reason number one, I would say, that I exercise. It helps to keep your mind calm, and it helps to get rid of stress, and it helps you sleep too, which, as I'm not a huge fan of sleep, anyone who knows me knows that, but I do recognize that it is necessary. Number two, the progression of my body getting stronger and developing into a stronger version of itself is, for me, I get an immense sense of pride in seeing that. I was at the point where I couldn't even do an assisted pull-up. I was very weak in that regard. And now, even though I'm still doing assisted pull-ups, I'm not doing them with as much weight. And I'm hoping to be able to, do a full set or at least one unassisted pull-up by the year's end. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But again, it's more so that metamorphosis and that progression that you see in front of you. It's these goals that you're achieving day by day by day. And they're goals that are tangible. When you've hit one extra repetition on that particular exercise, when you've been able to lift 5 more pounds or 10 more pounds than you did previously. And for me, you're seeing that in real time. And I think that's such a joy to watch for anybody. But when it's happening, when I see myself do it, it is very inspiring. It helps to stoke that flame of like, yes, you can do it. And there is an immense feeling of like self-love and self-pride that comes as a part of it. So that's the second reason why I exercise as well. So number 3 is, and this for me is probably one of the main reasons, is that the challenge of increasing a repetition or a weight on a particular exercise is so satisfying when it's overcome. And it's just that feeling of victory when you're finally able to, like, when you complete your last set of 8 squats, and okay, if I complete this, then next week I get to move up in weight and start all over again. But I've beat this level. To put it like in video game terms, it's like you've beat this level, you've got the achievement. And again, like I said in one of my previous videos, you have to celebrate the little wins. So those little wins provide you with a lot of momentum. So for me, it helps to keep my momentum going. And I really, really love that because, again, it's not just the self-love and the self-pride that you feel. It's also that sense of accomplishment. It's that sense of, like, yes, I actually can do it. You get this amazing rush of endorphins in the beginning, especially as you're in the beginning of your training. And again, I will preface this, even though I did work in the fitness industry in sales, I might add, I am not an exercise scientist. I'm not a certified personal trainer. I'm not anything like that. This is purely what I've experienced, is that when you get that endorphin rush and your arms are literally kind of shaking sometimes, or your body parts are shaking depending on the exercise that you did. And sometimes you may feel like you have to vomit or whatever, and you're breathing heavy and you're sweating, and sometimes it doesn't look pretty, but you did it. And that for me is really important. And I think that everyone should feel that feeling, because overcoming something really puts it into perspective as to what it means to be alive. We struggle against an abyss every single day of our lives. We live with a sword of Damocles over our head. That is death. And that is the one challenge that we can't necessarily overcome. But that doesn't mean that we can't overcome everything else aside from that. We can have those little wins. We can have those big wins too. We can set personal bests for heavy weight or for the amount of repetitions. We can set Olympic records, world records. We can push the human potential further, and not just physical potential, but by performing those works, we can inspire other people to either make a positive change in their life. And it doesn't have to be with exercise, but you can inspire them to say, you know what, I learned a lot from the mindset that you've adopted in order to get this goal done. I want to apply that to writing my new book, or to starting my new business, or increasing my revenue, or to designing my own website, or to teaching my students, or to brewing my own beer, or to being a better parent to my children, or a better husband to my wife, better wife to my husband, whatever it is. And that's the beauty of exercise. So that's honestly why I think everybody should do it. I would say don't skip out on it. It's going to be tough in the beginning. It was really tough for me too, especially after my first week. One of my friends can tell you, I was sore. I was, I couldn't extend my arms because the tendons were so short. I kept having this niggling ache in in one of my tendons in my arm, and no matter what I would do, if I grabbed something, it would hurt. It would hurt. But as one of my old colleagues used to say, pain is just weakness leaving the body. And I really have taken that to heart, because even though it hurts, even though it's not very pleasant to be in the moment where, you feel like your muscle is going to snap off the bone and it's going to, and you're going to puke and you're sweating and you're just hot. That's just your body trying to make sense of what's going on. And again, we don't have bodies, we are bodies. So your mind is the driver's seat of this body. It's a part of it. Your mind is the one that's making your body undergo this sort of stress. It's exerting itself to the point of exhaustion. But it's only that way that, well, one, I personally can sleep, or two, more importantly, that's you really know yourself in that moment. And for better or for worse, I think that's why everybody should do it. So, to recap, I would say that I gave my 3 reasons as to why I exercise and why you should too. I'll list them right up here. And again, if you are currently exercising right now, let me know in the comments below what got you into it. How far along are you? What's your favorite exercise to do? If you want to see more content, me talking about this stuff and about the journey that I had and the journey that I'm currently undergoing, let me know in the comments. Most importantly, I guess the main message of this one is that love yourself enough to keep your body and to progress and to keep your body as healthy as possible, but also love yourself enough to challenge it and trust your body enough and your mind enough to challenge yourself and to progress into being the human being that you can be. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.